Ladies, gentlemen, welcome back. And we're in a new season. And we're in Tier 3 lock. That means lots of diverse units, a little bit of frustration for some people. I tend to quite like it because it's just something different to, having the Tier 5s run over you, or Winged Hussars, or Cav being really, really dominant. But it brings out a lot of diverse units that you don't really see past this point. And that brings us to the unit we're looking at today that obviously you've seen in the intro, that is Jangjus. Jangjus are actually an incredibly good unit. The reason why they don't really get used past the Tier 3 lock is the amount of shields or shielded units in Tier 4, Tier 5 is quite heavy. So yeah, their little throwy daggers don't really get past the shields. But in Tier 3 lock, there is obviously a lot of halberdiers, a lot of things with low they do have shields, but it's less. They have less block, so they can get through it eventually. So they become quite a dominant unit. It's a unit that if you're a newer player, you probably haven't really seen until you've come into a Tier 3 lock. So yeah, we're going to be looking at Jangjus today, and so let's get into the Doctrines and the vet line. So, here are my Jangjus. Let's have a little look at their Doctrines. Starting off, we have the knife throwing Doctrine that just increases their accuracy on their knife throwing, because that's basically what you're going to be doing with these guys. You're not going to want to go into combat if you can help it. Then we've got a Siege Fighter, a little 8% extra damage in sieges. That's nice. Unit Damage Doctrine, extra 100 damage to units, and then increases all types of damage by 60 points. That's really nice. Hero Damage Doctrine, extra damage to hero, 90% more penetration, and then just a piercing penetration Doctrine that, funny enough, their dagger throw is piercing damage, so keep that in mind. Their melee attacks is slashing, but their throw is piercing. Right, let's take a look at the vet line. So on the vet line, I do a weird thing that I'm questioning if it's the right thing right now, but it seems to be working okay. For me, ammunition with these bad boys is the kind of main issue. They run out really quickly, so I did this weird thing where I take the 3 here and then I take another 10% here. It's not a huge amount, but it allows you to probably get another 3 or 4 seconds of throwing off. That doesn't sound like much, but the way these guys kill, that can be the difference between like 20 kills. It's crazy how much these guys can do. What we are losing though is a slow effect that is pretty good. But then obviously we'd lose 1 or 2 20% ammunition or 10% ammunition. Alternatively, you can go for the bleed. That's a bit more damage when you throw. So I'm probably not making the right decision, but at the moment it seems to be working for me. It just gives me that extra little bit of time to keep throwing. I'm tempted to try out the slowing one again. I've done both these lines. The bleed line was pretty good, and so is the slow. But yeah, tempted to try the slow again. But as it currently stands, this is what I go for. Just as much ammunition as I could possibly get. In terms of piercing damage, they're looking at 1008, and then piercing pen 1027, so nothing major, but for some reason it calculates into some insanely high damage. Defenses not looking that great, and health is 8300. That's not bad. So now that we've looked at that, let's get into the clips. So into our first clip, and we have been pushed back to the final point within, seconds, really quick. So there's a lot of time on the board. But we've got the Jangjus out, and I'm going to bring them over to this guy's Jangjus as well, and we're going to try and just pick up any kills or any units that come through the gate here. And the first thing with these guys is their range is actually a lot longer than you think it should be. You should always be using the 2 button. The 1 button you can use if you get stuck in a bit of a bind, like if a hero tries to jump them or whatever. I would use the 1. That's just an instant throw and they get a bit of a damage buff in melee. But initially, quite a nice bit of damage. You want to be doing the 2 on cooldown because you get a lovely little damage buff when you do the direct fire. But it is further than the direct fire says. That's quite nice. It means it's a bit forgiving. But here we're just picking up these Fenrir. They're just trying to stop them from coming around the back there, and we're already out of ammunition. We're going to put it on fast forward for every time we need to get ammunition. That's like right now, and then it will come back in a sec. And we're all stocked up and ready to go at the breach again. I'm going to bring them around at a bit of a harder angle, try and pick up this poleaxe that we do manage to do. Went a bit too far forward, going to go back a bit. Just the condos, don't want to be struck by them too much. So we're going to go here, long range. As you can see, I go into the red there, but we can still, the damage is still coming up, and the damage numbers are pretty large for a little unit throwing its dagger. They do pretty well. It's surprising. You know, you see the 900s, but anything turns their back. It can, 3,000, 2,500. It's a lot of damage. It's a lot of damage for something like this. But the only issue is your ammunition will be depleting very quickly, and this is obviously kind of why I went for the extra 10%. As I said in when we were looking at the vet line, I don't think it's probably not the best way to go. You're probably better going for one of the other ways, but it was just a pure tester because they were running out so quickly. So it looks like the enemy is pulling in behind us. They got some Lanchnecks here, and this is the perfect unit to wipe Halberdiers, Lanchnecks, anything without a shield. These guys do incredibly well against. I have to pop the one move right there, purely because everything spawns kind of like jumps on top of me. But we didn't take too many hits, and that's kind of the main thing about this unit is that they're range, but they have the kind of almost the tankiness of something that isn't range. So you can kind of get away with quite a lot with it. So we take out that, what was it, musket, and then we're getting attacked by this poleaxe. I mistime a kick, but it's no matter. I click 1 and they start throwing the daggers, and that's what I'm talking about. When you get jumped, 1 is your best friend, but every other time 2 is the ability to be using. We'll just fast forward through here while we go to a new position. It looks like they're taking base, so we're going to see if we can recapture it. And the ramp on these guys, like when you put them in the face of an enemy, and as long as you've got stuff in front of you, you just watch the kills. They really ramp up quickly. We are a bit out of range here, and we're kind of like off to the side, so I'm waiting till the 2 abilities back. We're going to move forward, and yeah, we're going to pull them off the point a little bit here. I think there's a few shields around, but it's fine. We're lobbing in. We're up to 116 kills now, and we started with literally none. And unfortunately, we take a treb to the face. That's it happens. We're almost out of ammunition. There's 6 guys left. Just playing on the point here. It's not looking that good for us, but good little run with the Jangjus there. And now we're just going to send them in. They can go do their own thing, and we'll take a look at what they got in this game. So in this game, they got 105 and 2 heroes. That's pretty good considering we started with basically nothing. And then moving on to this next game, this is a sort of, they pushed us back to the last point again, similar to the last one. And we've got some Outriders and some Halberdiers here, and look at the numbers. I'm not even in a good placement at all, and we will just slowly wipe those up. And then the Outriders over there will get picked up pretty quickly. Pretty good at killing cav. I mean, if you get cav charge, obviously you're gonna die. But these new cav here, the new tier 3, they're gonna go down pretty quickly to our little knife throw. We've got about half an infantry left, and Halberdiers on point there. We're gonna wait for these to come around the corner. We're gonna throw, and this is where they shine. If you just watch my kill count, it'll go up so quickly after every time I use 2. Whenever you use 2, you gain a little bit of a damage buff, so it's much better than just leaving them on their kind of auto throw, because they will throw while they run. That can be useful, but it can also be really annoying if you want to save ammunition for a big engagement and there's like a few units around and all of them are just throwing their daggers in the wrong place. I was going to send them back to supply there, but I decided that they were pushing a little bit up there, so I didn't want them to run into the enemy units and get killed. But luckily our team has cleared those out, so that is all good. Going to get some ammunition and fast forward this bit right here. Just taking a little look, seeing what's up there, and now it looks like they're going for another push on the point. We've got some more lovely Halberdiers, and this is going to be our personal favorite unit to munch, and we're munching through it slowly, but then suddenly there's the ramp. It just suddenly they start getting their eye in, their aim goes properly, and yeah, really hits hard. It's really hard, especially if the unit turns its back. If the unit turns its back, you basically two-shot it with these guys. But yeah, so I just kind of wanted to bring this unit because there's obviously, well, probably a lot of new players that have come in for the season or come back for the season that maybe didn't do Scorpio season and haven't picked these guys up yet. They're just a great one to have for the tier 3 lock. I sometimes bring them out in tier 4, tier 5, you know, in the normal times. But yeah, the shields, the men-at-arms, stuff like that, they don't do as well just because the sheer amount of shields about. But for this stuff, so much fun to have a bit of yeah, a bit of difference, you know, some new units, but units that we don't normally use that we now can pull back out. So they're pushing quite hard here. We're up to about 120 or 138 kills. It's going pretty fast. I'm going to pull them here, get rid of those Rattan marksmen there. The first throw kills the 2, and then they start sort of ramping it up. We're at 146, moving up nicely. There was a skip there that was me grabbing ammunition, but it was a bit of a longer skip. We got some javelin militia right there that we're going to eat. We're up to 152. That's really nice. 2 heroes just instantly picked up. They do a lot of damage to heroes as well. That's nice. But the hero, if you're a hero and you want to avoid being hit by these, just move left and right smoothly, and they'll miss. Their daggers are kind of slow. It's a slow moving object, so if you just go left and right, you'll avoid it very nicely. And then we are gonna just have a little look here. We're down to we've got enough ammunition that we don't need to go back. We've got 15 units left. That's still a good stack with these boys. And we're just deciding we're going. I'm a bit conscious of the musket up there, throwing a liquid fire down and burn them, but they will survive it, but not like if you were taking a ranged unit. And these boys come out of this door here. It looks like we've got some Ronin that don't see that often, but we're going to throw at those. Few heroes there, and the damage is coming in. The yellow numbers coming up. I see there's more here. Try and go for a little kick, but miss it. Get some damage down on him. Ult him and take that kill, and then we've got another one here that we're going to throw at. There's some of them are going to hit, but pick up that assist, and now we're going to send them on back, ready for the enemy team's final push. That they're trying to get on the point now. It looks like we've got a few grape shots down. I see these Naginata monks coming in, going to slow those down so they don't get their charge off, and try and kill these Janissaries. But we've got a Maul coming in, doing his spinning. And we're going to give him a kick, miss the kick, going for a few little, a little butterfly, going for a throw, going to pick up an assist and a kill there. And my Jangjus should be back any second now for this final push. And this is where they're going to come in really useful. We're at 170 kills right now. And here we go. We're going to pick up all of the rest of this stuff. 185, moving in, and we're just going to run them towards the Namcams at the back. Again, another unit that I don't see much, and that will spell the end of the game. And we're at 192 kills. That's really nice. I literally started with barely any, so they did perform quite well. Got ourselves a little chest, and let's check out how the unit got on. So 2 heroes and 141 unit kills. So really, really nice. Really enjoying this unit. So what do we think of the Jangjus? I think Jangjus tier 3, probably one of the top tier units, up there with Perfection Guard, Halberdiers, that sort of thing. But obviously don't get used as much as I think they should do, or yeah, as much as they are worth using. So yeah, if you haven't got the Jangjus and you're a new player or a player that just hasn't got round to it, just for your tier 3 lock every season, it's quite a fun unit to bring. So I would highly recommend it. But that is it, gentlemen. That is it. I hope you've enjoyed this video. If you like this sort of content, I would really appreciate the sub. Take care, have a good Christmas, and I will see you in the next one.